So we have our first hostage situation. Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Marianne.
And if you're new to our channel, we're a couple from the UK who are currently attempting to step foot in every country in the world before we die, or die trying. And in this video we're in Costa Rica, where we spent the last couple of weeks exploring this beautiful country. And in this video we're going to share with you our first impressions of this wonderful country.
We were warned that Costa Rica was really expensive. In fact, probably the most expensive country in Central America. We weren't sure whether that was true. Well, we're here to say it is. It has been a little bit tricky with our budget, as we are on a budget.
It was about between 3,500 and sort of 5,000 colones per dish. In a restaurant, and you can probably find like cheap burgers and things cheaper, but generally, in comparing to the UK, it's probably similar-ish prices, and we've heard that sort of other Central American countries are probably about 25% or more cheaper. So your budget doesn't go far as you think it does in Costa Rica. So when we came to Costa Rica, we weren't 100% sure what we would be eating, and the local food basically has a real Caribbean influence, and it's either beans and rice or rice and beans.
Yeah, that's what we were told.
So there's a lot of rice and beans, and they are absolutely delicious, all served with different meats and different things like that. So yeah, definitely check out the local food.
In fact, we've done a video on food to show the different local foods that we have tried. You can drink the water in Costa Rica.
You can.
We were really shocked by that, because obviously we've done a fair bit of travelling,
yeah.
And most countries we carry a SteriPen because you can't drink the local water. In some areas in Costa Rica, we've been told that it's not as tasty, or some waters you can't drink.
Well, some areas, San Jose, you can drink the water.
Absolutely, straight from the tap, and it's delicious water. Really, really lovely, pure mountain spring flavoured water.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
Yeah, it doesn't taste so chemically.
We're in
Limon at the moment has been affected in the past by earthquakes.
Yeah.
And apparently you used to be able to drink the water in Limon, but you can't now. So don't drink the water in the Limon province, which is sort of the southeast corner of Costa Rica. So because we're on a budget, we have been staying primarily in hostels. We've checked into a hostel in San Jose, and price-wise, it's not too bad, although as we said, it's more expensive than other Central American countries. It's been about £14 a night English money, but that did include breakfast, so that's an advantage.
And it was a good breakfast.
And it was a good breakfast, and they had big lockers and everything to secure your valuables. So definitely check out the hostels. And we've also been staying in a variety of different Airbnbs.
Yeah, we're currently in the most glorious place just outside Cahuita, which is very close to Puerto Viejo and Limon. It's sort of between the two. It's a lovely local style, farm style house with a couple of huts in the garden, and it's beautiful here. This
one, because we're with our friends, it's a bit more expensive. It's £25 a night per couple, which is the higher end. I mean, we've been paying the one in San Jose. We stayed for a few nights in a lovely one private room.
Yeah, lovely house in the city as well. So it was really nice, and very peaceful.
£10 a night, I think.
It was
£10 a night. But just mind, when you're booking the Airbnb, there are service charges put on. So go through to the screen where it gives you the total, and just check the service charge, because sometimes the service charge can be very expensive, especially if you're only staying 1 or 2 nights.
Good tip.
Good tip there. And if you're new to Airbnb or you haven't used it before, we'll put a link down below which gives you a bit of a discount as well. So one of the impressions that you get of Central America is that it is dangerous. we have had nothing but love. I mean, we've had a great time, and we've witnessed some very kind people. There was one tourist, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Who left their their credit card in a cash point machine, and a local went running after them to give it back.
Literally chased them, left the queue and chased them to give them back their card, and which is lovely, and we feel really really lucky to have witnessed such love. But if we're seeing it, then it's there everywhere.
So following on from sort of safety and honesty and danger concerns in Costa Rica, we have a little bit of a story to tell you. We were taking an Uber across town, and Marianne suddenly realised after we got out of the Uber car that she didn't have her phone. Terrible!
It was very early in the morning, jumping in, jumping out, that kind of situation.
You don't realise how much you rely on your phone when you're travelling. So our friend contacted the Uber driver, who confirms that he did have the phone, told us to relax, enjoy the day. He was unable to drop it off right there and then, but if we contacted him later that day, he would arrange to get the phone back to us somehow.
So we carried on the trip with our two friends to see the waterfalls. It was glorious.
Absolutely. And later that evening, our friend contacted the Uber driver, and then informed us that we can get the phone back the following day, but only if we had to pay some money to get the phone back. So we suddenly had a hostage situation.
Yeah, the exact phrase was, if you don't pay any money, you won't get your phone back.
Oh! So that's we were a bit stressed out by that. And
I think all the fears that we felt and all the warnings that we had been told just a week before, because this was in our first week.
First few days, really.
We literally, everything just came to the forefront, and we just literally thought every warning we'd been given was just like falling on our doorstep.
Yeah. So the next day, our friend arranged to meet us and the driver on a sort of street corner, so we headed off. So we have our first hostage situation. We've arranged through our friends Vicky to go and meet him, which we're doing now. We met up with our friends, we waited for the driver to turn up.
So, I have the reward money, the payment for the hostage situation, so I can get my phone back and get in touch with my family again. We're just waiting now for Manuel, the driver, any minute now, I'm sure. Is that him? I'm waving my hand. I need to see his face.
And shortly after, the Uber driver, as promised, turned up, and our friend paid him the agreed amount of 5,000 colones.
Yeah. Which was a very small amount, and Chris and I were slightly confused by this, because we thought if we were going to have an actual hostage situation, it would be a lot more.
Well, the value of the, value of an iPhone. Yeah.
It's an old iPhone, but the value of a phone. And it was actually only 5 mil, which is about £6 British.
Yeah.
So it
wasn't like a huge amount.
It wasn't correlating in our brains as to what was going on.
Yeah. And once we paid the driver the fee, we realised that it was actually just to cover his costs of bringing the phone back to us, which is fair enough. He didn't even have to give us his the phone back in the first place, and we were going to pay him a bit of a reward as a thank you.
Exactly, and it was literally just lost in translation.
And it's funny how something can be misunderstood, and the guy was a really nice guy.
Oh, delightful.
We were there covertly filming it, thinking we were indeed in some major hostage negotiation.
Yeah, we thought we'd hit jackpot gold in YouTube world.
Yeah, clickbait supreme, telephone hostage. But no, it had just actually been dropped off, and the guy just wanted the Uber fare to bring it back.
Delightful
So just
guide.
be aware when you travel, as with any foreign country, things aren't always as they seem.
Yeah.
And some things do get lost in translation. Of course, everybody we're speaking to that's speaking to us in English is speaking in a foreign language. So,
and all the preconceived ideas that you're given, you don't want to believe them, and we truly didn't want to believe them. But when we were in this situation, I have to be honest, they just flooded in. We were just absolutely convinced.
Yeah, we were worried, weren't we?
Yeah,
at
we
one
were
point?
worried.
Like, oh,
we
here
were
we
worried.
go.
We just
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. But honestly, our personal experience is that everybody's been absolutely fabulous.
Fab. In fact, that leads on to the next impression is the beauty of the nature. We have been, you hear Costa Rica famous for beaches, jungle, waterfalls,
Wildlife,
Yeah.
fauna,
and it really, really is. We've seen some amazing, beautiful waterfalls in jungle settings that
Yeah.
we haven't seen anywhere else
Yeah.
before.
We want to share all of the beauty, but as always, it's so tricky to capture
Yeah.
it in its true beautiful essence. Chris, you've done a fabulous job. There was one lizard yesterday on the walk.
Oh, he stayed still for
Yeah.
ages and posed, and he was really well hidden,
Yeah.
camouflaged, and he just stayed
was
there,
glorious.
and he just posed for the camera. So it allowed me time to actually set my tripod up and try and take a few good shots. But we've seen beautiful beaches, haven't we?
Oh,
We've seen
glorious.
waterfalls. We've been trekking through the jungle to look for various things, and just the walk in the jungle, although hot, is absolutely
Wow.
beautiful.
Hot and wet.
Absolutely.
So you have these glorious sounds of the jungle when you're in the jungle, but the urban concrete jungle that is San Jose also has a lot of noise.
It does.
The American trucks and the trains, the noises. We were really shocked. They've got these massive American trucks with the big chrome chimneys, and it's like,
Just like you
isn't
see
it?
in the old movies, isn't it? Yeah.
It's absolutely cool as hell. In fact, there's quite a large American influence we found in
Yeah.
San Jose, didn't we?
Yeah, there is. There's, I mean, you normally see the sort of fast food chains,
Yeah.
but I think San Jose, more than other places that we've travelled.
It's probably the proximity to America.
Yeah, lots of pizza places and fast food outlets and things like that. And I think it's a main sort of holiday destinations for a lot of Americans. So that's probably why.
So we were lucky to stay in a lovely part of San Jose where there was a train crossing and a big train track running right next to the hostel, and it was absolutely hilarious for us because we live in the UK. Everything is health and safety based. Everything. You have to fill in a form for everything nowadays.
Yeah.
So we found it absolutely hilarious that there are train crossings, the cars are going across, the lights flash,
Yeah,
but
people walking.
no barriers, there are people in wheelchairs just taking
We actually
over.
saw a guy trying to get across the tracks in his wheelchair.
And there's no pavement area to go
No.
smoothly across, so people actually are going over the
Yeah.
over the tracks,
Yeah.
over the rocks. It was absolutely
And we
shocking
watched, didn't
to
we?
us.
We watched. We had to actually. We stood there for about half an hour to see what actually happened when a train came, and they do have barriers there, which none of them work. They
None
don't
of
come
them come
down.
down.
So what happens is the train just horns really loudly.
Yeah.
And the cars, when they're coming up to the crossing, are kind of like
Yeah, they start checking when they
checking
hear the,
just to make sure it's safe. I'm surprised there's not more accidents, but it's
Yeah.
in a way it's refreshing to
It is.
see
It really
that
is.
common sense hasn't been taken out of the equation.
It's not a criticism when we say this. We
No.
actually feel refreshed that actually people are allowed to take responsibility for their own lives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Showers we've seen. They call
them
they call locals. They say be careful of the death showers, but they have these. Rather than having a hot water system, they have these shower heads,
Yeah.
which are straight into the mains. I don't think we've actually filmed them, but they go straight into the main. So when you turn the shower on, it heats the water from the head. But you have
Yeah.
electric like right there in the bathroom, in the shower where you're
Yeah.
stood showering. which is a little bit of mad. And just like plug sockets in the shower and the fuse box in the shower room, and you know, those kind of things in the UK would never happen. One thing that surprised us coming to Costa Rica is that we thought it was going to be really hot. And don't get me wrong, where we are now on the coast of Limon, it is really hot, and in the jungle it's very humid. But San Jose is actually up in the mountains, and although when the sun is out and there's no wind it's hot compared to the UK, it's quite chilly in the evenings. It's not as hot as we expected. San Jose is surrounded by mountains, so yeah, just be aware that in the evenings it doesn't get cold.
You're at altitude, aren't you?
Yeah, it just gets a bit chilly. I think it's just over 1,000 meters above sea level. Another thing that we've noticed is that in the Limon province, on the coastline, it has a really relaxed sort of Caribbean feel. I've never been to the Caribbean. Not yet. But it's what I would imagine. Just really relaxed bars. There's reggae music playing everywhere. And it's just got that real sort of relaxed vibe. It would be interesting to compare it to the Pacific side to see sort of how the influence goes. But yeah, definitely head down to
our
Limon
first impression
region.
is definitely on the Atlantic side. There is a real Caribbean vibe.
Yeah, definitely. And in this video we're going to share with you our best. No, we're not. Cut.
Look at the size of the maulers.
Yeah. And
yeah, the howler monkeys are.
Why did you say that?
Fabulous.
The maulers. They got big balls.
They got big balls.
3, 2, 1. Back in the room. It's supposed to be you.
Is it me?
Yeah. Cut. On the coastline, on the eastern coastline, hello, I've got a new friend. You can't actually see it. The house dog of the Airbnb where we're staying is just come, and he's so lovely.
He's so lovely.
You just about see his head there. He's a good boy.
Sorry.
Okay. 3.
Which is lovely.
Buffalo soldier to the heart of the Caribbean. Okay. Cut.
For about 11,000 colones, which translates to.
Don't know. Cut. They do have
just absolutely
really
hilarious.
big balls.